Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our first movie of 2003 at the Cult Classics Podcast. Cameron Jones here, along with my co-host,
Mark Nussle.
Jordan Jones.
So we made it, boys. 2023.
Another year. We're still here. Sorry, I'm sounding a little froggy today. I'm getting over a cold, but we're powering through and we're bringing it. We're doing the 1997 movie because it's an anniversary, Jordan, of some sort.
Yeah, the news told me it's 25 years, so if it's not, it's
of the
within
movie
a couple
or
years.
of the sinking ship.
Well, I think you can do some math.
Sinking
Mark.
ship. We're
I just mean anniversary. Obviously not 25.
we're 110 years, 111.
Something like that. Well, we're doing the 1997 movie, James Cameron's Titanic. Young adventurer Jack Dawson wins a ticket to the RMS Titanic in a lucky hand of poker. Aboard the doomed ship, he begins an unlikely romance with Rose Dewitt, a first-class passenger engaged to a man she doesn't love. With society trying to pull them apart, their relationship is tested to the max when the ship collides with an iceberg, dooming the passengers aboard. Your heart will go on with James Cameron's Titanic.
From the guy who brought you Terminator and eventually Avatar, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, Billy Zane, Kathy Bates, Gloria Stewart, Bill Paxton, Bernard Hill, and Francis Fisher.
It was called The Ship of Dreams.
I'll sum up the movie. Jack, Rose, Jack, Rose. They say
A lot
Jack
of Jacks and Roses. Can high society fall for a street rat? I think so.
It's just a romance right before the Titanic sank.
Yeah.
James Cameron, Titanic.
Wherever
All right, cast and crew, obviously directed by James Cameron.
Who's that? It's him, James Cameron.
One of his best. Also somewhat recently did Avatar, did The Terminators, True Lies. We know James Cameron.
We all know James Cameron. Avid scuba diver, deep sea explorer now.
Real big into deep sea.
Leonardo DiCaprio stars as Jack Dawson. Whoa. Oh. Leonardo DiCaprio stars as Jack Dawson.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape? I don't know why that's the only one that came to mind right now.
Just that one?
Have we done a Leo movie yet?
I don't think we have.
Catch Me If You Can?
Did we do Catch Me If You Can? We might have.
Nah, I'm sure we brought it up a
Oh,
lot.
that's probably one of my favorite Leo movies, honestly, Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, Catch Me If You Can. I mean,
Catch
Wolf
Me
of
If You
Wall
Can,
Street.
Aviator, Wolf of Wall Street.
I mean, he had that run right
Inception.
around Aviator, Catch Me If You Can, where he was just making exceptional
They
movies.
like a 6-year run where he didn't have a miss. But what preceded this was 1996's Romeo and Juliet.
Nice.
1993 is What Eating Gilbert Grape, and I think he was in Basketball Diaries a little bit before this too.
Nice.
But this obviously, Basketball Diaries 95, and then this just exploded.
Scary movie. I believe he's also in Critters 2 or 3. So.
Oh, yeah. Quick and the Dead was 95. But how do you follow this up? You make Man in the Iron Mask, and you fucking like it.
Kate Winslet plays Rose.
Contagion. Finding Neverland, the movie Jordan
Eternal Sunshine.
will eventually fall
Eternal
asleep to.
Sunshine, I feel like
We've
is
done
one of
The
her biggest
Holiday.
blows.
True.
The
Go
Holiday.
back and see our Holiday.
Stuck around.
Billy
Her and
Zane
Leo get
plays
back
Cal.
together. Her and Leo get back together in Revolutionary Road, right?
Oh, okay.
And I've seen that
She's
a
just
bunch
perpetually been nominated for Oscars the last 15 years
you know where she is.
in different roles.
Billy Zane plays Cal, the asshole fiance of Rose.
If you're not in the Jones family, you might just know him as being Billy Zane in Zoolander. But if you're the Jones family, you know him from Memphis Belle.
Yeah. He plays
Cameron-
Val.
You're forgetting a big role here. He was Brody. He was the voice of Brody in SSX Tricky, that game, that snowboarding game you really liked back in the day.
Oh, really?
I did have that.
He was Brody, Broderick Brody.
He's also in Biff's Little Gang in the
Oh, that's
Back to
true.
the
He's
Future
in Back to the
trilogy.
Back to the Future.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
check
true.
him out. You'll definitely recognize him because he'll look just like Billy Zane.
Kathy Bates plays the unsinkable Molly Brown, as we come to later find that's her nickname.
This isn't a Mount Rushmore, but she's probably the all-time sticks around. She shows up. She's acted for the last 45 years.
Sticks around.
She's in it. I mean, she's been in stuff
I
as
like
recently
that.
as like last week.
Misery. She got in on
Misery
American Horror
and-
Story.
I'd say her two biggest
Boucher,
roles
Mama
are probably Misery and then Fried Green Tomatoes
True.
from like
Waterboy.
a Critical.
Mama
And then just a
Waterboy.
million things. We know him from Waterboy. Mama said,
Old Rose is played by Gloria Stewart.
Do I know her from
You may know her
anything?
from 1933's The Invisible Man. 1933. Like think
right.
about that date right now.
Huh.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Just skip ahead, unverified. I believe she was the only person in the cast and crew alive at the same time of the Titanic.
Jesus.
Well, if she was acting in something in 1933, she had to be born in.
To have a credit from
18
1933 is
something.
wild. That's 90 years ago. Frances Fisher plays the mom of Rose, Ruth Bukater.
What do I know her from? She has a familiar
She seems familiar,
face.
but I didn't recognize any of her. I mean,
You probably just
not
recognized her from this movie, and she kind of looks like Deborah Messing.
Kind of. Let us know. Let us write in. Let us know what you know her from. We're a little lost on her. Sorry.
Yeah, a little lost. Bill Paxton plays Brock Lovett, the treasure hunter, if you will.
I mean, Twister.
Twister.
It's my number one.
Apollo 13, check it out. That's a.
Oh yeah,
I owned Mighty Joe
never-
Young as a kid, so Mighty Joe Young.
Oh yeah. I always kind of forget he's in Apollo 13 just because it's such a Tom Hanks and
That's true. He's in it though.
Yeah, he's there.
Man, I'm so hungry I could eat the ass off a rhinoceros. That's probably his best quote.
Alien 2 or 3, I forget which one.
Yeah, he's in Alien. He's in
Aliens.
Weird Science, right? He's like the older brother, the dick older brother. I mean, he's in a bunch of stuff, but
Bill
Twister is his claim to fame. Go back and listen to our Twister episode. And
Let's do-
stay
why don't you do
tuned to
Twister
listening
again?
to all our Apollo 13 references. Because
just
we
do
can't
Twister
do Apollo
again.
13.
We should do Apollo 13 at some point. We do talk about it a lot. Sorry, Mark.
Such a good movie. Man, that movie's born in 94, right? Man, God, you want to talk about special effects.
No, I don't.
Okay, good. You want to talk about practical effects? They sit on an apple box and they move back and forth. That's as simple.
box.
It could be this simple. It's just like a box, they call it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Look, does it look like I'm in space?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
That's all it is. Practical effects, guys. You can use them.
Bernard Hill plays Captain Smith. He's in Lord of the Rings. I know that.
I was about to say, he was like in that or Game of Thrones. I knew it was some old-timey show.
One of those ones.
David Warner plays Spicer Lovejoy, sort of like the, I don't know, right-hand man to
The manservant.
to Cal. Yeah, sort of the security guard, the hurt.
I didn't recognize him from anything. He seems familiar.
Yeah, familiar face, but I don't know if I know.
My mom told me he's in
Star Trek
but-
6.
Yeah, she said
That's
Star
maybe
Trek,
that-
but
yeah.
I didn't know it.
I have to at least say that because Denise would be, she'd be upset.
Shout out to our Trekkies out there.
Victor Garber plays Thomas Andrews, the builder of the ship.
If you're the Joneses, you probably mostly know him from Jesus Christ Superstar. Nope, I'm
You know him
sorry.
as that guy with the Godspell. Grow up.
Godspell, sorry.
Jesus.
The moment it came out of my mouth, I'm like, that's the wrong Jesus.
That's
music.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the other Jesus musical. It's the hippy dippy version one, the feel good one.
True.
Day by day.
Oh, dear Lord. Which one is how's the end? Oh God, I'm dying, or is that something else? That Pippin?
No, that's
the one. No, that's Godspell, isn't it?
All right, there we go.
is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh God.
Yeah, it is actually
I'm dying.
right.
Yeah, there's some Godspell for you. Victor
actually-
Garber did that in the movie version.
I remember him from. He's like the banker from the town. Yeah, I think he's even uncredited in that role, but like I just remember him. He's in the town. Jonathan Hyde plays Bruce Ismay. He's not the builder, but he's like he had the plans for the whole
invested in
ship.
it
He's
somehow.
like the
He's like the guy pushing them to go faster, must go faster.
yes.
The coward that
Hey,
gets
let's
off
bring
on
this
the-
ship down. Go back and check him out. He's definitely in our episode of Jumanji. He's the dad /
True.
manhunter. What do you call that?
Yeah, I
what do you
forget
call
that.
manhunters?
Yeah, he's the manhunter. I forget his name. That's all I really
like
know him
like
from.
bounty hunter.
Bounty hunter.
we
Yeah, he's
go,
a bounty
yeah.
hunter. There we go. There you go.
Is he?
He's really a big game hunter that's just killing a man. He's chosen to go after the most dangerous game.
Who's the guy who goes with the kids to the baseball games in Angels in the Outfield? It's not him.
No.
Should be him.
Oh,
Though.
I don't know. That guy's. It's not that guy. Go
Gets
back and listen
mustard
to
all
our
over his
Angels in the
pants.
Outfield. Yeah, that guy's
I
like.
get that.
He looks like Jimmy Fallon's older brother, but it's not Jimmy Fallon's older brother. But they got a similar face.
It is
structure.
Jonathan Hyde. Richard. Okay.
You nailed it.
Just had to check. Just had to double check. That's all the notable people I want to talk about. To be honest,
That's fine.
Pretty deep cast.
I should mention the music is James Horner. he's kind of tied to Cameron a little bit. He did Avatar Way of the Water. Looks like he's done Southpaw. Just some random scores here and there. So it's kind of fun.
On that note, should we just move it forward to Unverified?
Sure.
Welcome to the Cult Classic Movie Phone. It's December 19th, 1997, and currently in theaters you could have seen Mowgli's Story, that live-action Jungle Book. Remember that?
Oh, I do. I thought it was just called Jungle Book.
It's called Mowgli's Story, apparently. There were a couple Jungle Book Mowgli. There were a couple things around that time of live actions. Amistad.
Hey, not a bad movie.
Good. It's a great
You're
movie.
going to think, hey, is that a courtroom drama from the 90s? It is. It's just set in the 1780s.
Sure, is that
It is called.
1890s.
Hold on, it's Jungle Book Mowgli's Story.
Yeah.
It's at least called Jungle Book.
Yeah, well, I said it backwards, possibly. I said Mowgli's Story, the Jungle Book.
Yeah, I mean, don't.
1839 to be exact. That's Amistad. My bad. 1839.
An American Werewolf in Paris, not the one we're as familiar with. Mr. Magoo, the live action. The Postman, the Kevin Costner movie that I don't remember. As Good as It Gets. Mouse Hunt.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Mouse Hunt. I had Mouse Hunt.
Scream 2. Home Alone 3.
Okay,
007, Tomorrow Never Dies.
it's a good one.
Was it? You think that's his main one?
And I did mention to the guys off air that there were a lot of porns released this month, and Alien Erotica, the Sex Files series. It's a parody
What
of
does
the
that
X.
mean? There's porn released every month, Cameron.
I don't know if we want to go down this. Like, what are you going to do once we get into the aughts? You're like, and
Streaming's going to
just
be
a
hard.
litany.
Two girl, it's a slippery slope.
So this one's a little interesting because it has factual historical facts and then the movie facts. So I have
Crazy box office numbers, Jordan. Crazy.
Yeah, I
what do
got
you
to
got
spit
for
it
it?
out because budget, cool 200 mil. That's a big budget. A lot of water, a lot of CGF effects. Box office, 2.19 billion with a B.
That's pretty big.
That's some Bezos. That's some Epstein numbers. That's some Bezos numbers.
That's some Bezos numbers. I don't know which numbers you want to be attached to.
And
Yeah.
like kind of just going off that, the film was playing for so long that it came out on VHS while it was still in like, I think 144 theaters I read. And it was being run so much that the film companies had to send out duplicate copies of the film because it had literally worn out and like broken them for so many theaters.
I think it won on its original theatrical run. Then it won a shit ton of Oscars. And they're like, hey, let's run it back and never take it out of the theaters. And you know what people kept doing?
Going to see it.
to watch this movie.
We've talked about it before, but in our small town, this was one of those magical movies that one stayed in the theater for like 3 months, but two, that there was a line outside that we all waited in to see this movie, if you recall.
I was going to go into greater detail in QCA.
Sure.
But this is the biggest movie event. I'm really thinking this out loud. Like, not my favorite movie, not the best, but the biggest widespread movie event that I think all three of us have lived through.
I agree with that. Like we talked about it at school the next day. All the teachers were like, did everyone go see Titanic?
Absolutely, dude.
I think in two parts. I think one, if I'm remembering, there was so much buzz, publicity, like 60 Minutes interviews, Oprah interviews about all of the CGI. It was like groundbreaking. So that was one part. Then two, it was like a James Cameron movie, but I can't explain why it happened.
You know
but
what? It
did.
kind of happened again a decade later with Avatar.
Exactly.
There was so much hype around actually going to a theater and seeing that movie. We did it, Cameron, like with our group of friends. Like we actually went,
I was
sat
in
down to
Florida
watch.
actually when it came out.
Oh, you weren't there.
I was with my family seeing it.
You were there in spirit.
Thanks, bud.
But even compared to
It was
Avatar,
3D. I,
I mean,
couldn't really see my peers.
a lot of people did see Avatar, but like Titanic was weird. It was like your grandparents saw it, you saw it. Everybody fucking saw this movie, and I don't,
There's a reason why it stuck around like the top like grossing movie of all time, like until like
forever, pretty much Avatar.
until recently. Yeah, like
Until they started making like all these superhero movies, but yeah, for a long time. And then I guess we're just talking about it now. On top of that, I think it was like the perfect storm of Celine Dion, Drop My Heart Will Go On, and then like that all became a thing with this movie, and it was just fucking bananas. I don't think that I'll ever have another bigger movie experience than this.
There was
one in
like
my
teen
lifetime.
fandom in the way that they are for like boy bands around like Leo and Kate Winslet when this came out, you know?
Yeah, they completely exploded. I think they were on the scene, obviously, probably Leo a little more, but then he became this just.
Didn't they have like an ongoing? This is sort of like pop culture, like TMZ stuff. But didn't they like kind of have like a fling, just kind of after the movie and like here and there? Just
It seems like that would have happened.
fair enough.
She to throw shade at him. She might have aged out though pretty quick with him.
Well, yeah, he dates him pretty young now, unfortunately.
But that's the last we'll talk about that. That's not what this podcast is going to be about. We're not in support of it, so we're going to move on.
So James Cameron did have a lot of factual things about people who were aboard the Titanic. They had, I think it was like 150 extras that were on set at all times, just so that they already went through like a period acting class and stuff. And he gave all of those 150 people, like essentially when you go to a museum, you get those little booklets like backstories, you know?
Oh, right.
But some of the people who were based on real people, the elderly couple who are hugging in the bed at the end, that's based off of Rosalie Ida Strauss and Isidore Strauss. They were the owners of the Macy's department store. They were aboard the ship and they did die. But she has a famous quote saying, "As we have lived together, so we shall die together," because she had a chance to get on a boat, but she's like, "Nah, I'm going to die with him."
I respect this that couple mainly because they were old, and it's like, don't take a spot. You did the right thing, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not what I would have done. I would have been like, we've had a good life, and I'm
Jordan
sorry,
would have been like, "I have a child."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jordan's Billy Zane.
It's the only thing I have.
The other one I
Cameron
know
would have
of
been
that-
like his henchman. It's like, it's been nice working for you, sir. I'm gonna go shoot the
I
board.
don't care that the boat's going down. I got some murdering to do, or maybe that's the time to do some murdering.
Wouldn't hurt,
Pretty
you know?
cool gun. by
Very
the way.
cool gun.
Decent cool.
Also, the other person that I do know is a real person. Well, one, the priest who was praying at the end is apparently a second-class priest who was real, and two, the chef who is at the top of the ship was based off the real chef of the Titanic, one of them, but he got blackout drunk and was just drinking from the time of the sinking, and he survived in the water and was pulled out.
So this movie's runtime is like 3 hours 12 minutes. I do believe that character had some cut scenes, probably the only cut scenes of the movie, like him just kind of sneaking drinks here and there. Like they pretty much
Is that
cut
factual?
his character out. Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Can I just ask? Was Rose? That's a real person and she was pulled out?
No, neither of them are real. They made those
Okay.
up.
There were
There
some people that were, I forget how many people were pulled out of the water, but
Only six people
Yeah, that
out of
sounds
like
right.
out of like 1,500 people that were floating in the water there. Why I asked, because like if it's the chef and then fucking Rose, like the chef made it, the drunken chef was just like kind of like
That plays to me. Think about all the times you've been drunk, and the moves you make while drunk are bigger and more aggressive. Now,
I could jump off the top of this.
The flip side is you're gonna be like, try to jump farther than you can, and then you drown and die. But at that right amount of drunk, you're a superhero, and you're making the right decisions.
do you want to hear something
I would have
terrible?
said the chef. I would have said the chef was propeller guy.
Oh yeah, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, I mean, it definitely looks
I
like
can clear that. Aim for the bushes.
I got a figure for you because I had to look it up because I'm gonna talk about this in QCA. I'm never gonna stop talking about it. Just between Jack and Rose, their characters, Rose says Jack roughly 80 times, and Jack says the name Rose roughly 50 times.
So if you want to play a fuck drinking game, there it is. for
Jesus,
you.
you'd be done.
I knew
If
she
you-
had the leg up on him, but it was crazy how much they.
I don't know how many other words they say. And then on top of that, if you are playing the drinking game, Cal says Rose a bunch. I don't know how much more he says.
I mean, from the
You're
time
gonna
the,
be my wife, Rose.
from the time the
Rose,
iceberg
listen
hits,
to
it's
me.
a lot of just name calling over water. You know, that's pretty much the movie.
That's true.
To two things Mark brought up a second ago about Kate and Leo romance. I don't know if they had a romance, but after finding out that she had to do a naked scene with Leo,
Oh, this is good.
she decided to break the ice when they first met by flashing him.
Oh,
Fucking Leo, you dog.
jeez. This movie prided itself so much on being historically accurate with the interior design of the ship and like the wallpaper and
Because
the
of,
china
I
and
feel
all
like
that
because
shit.
of Jimmy Cameron.
Yeah, sure. I don't know why, but like, yeah, I just remember that being such a big thing. And then they're like, exteriors of the boat are going to look pretty CGI.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was great. We'll get to that, I am assuming.
Now that- yeah, we'll get to that.
just so we're playing at home, 2,400 people about 2,200 people on the Titanic, 1,500 died.
That's 68%. I'm looking at the stats here. So I'm looking at Wiki. and it goes by children, women, and men. And it also goes by first class, second class, third class. All of the second class children survived.
Oh,
all
solid.
83% of the first class and 34% of the third class survived.
And do you know why there wasn't too many stats on the first class children? Because rich people don't travel with their kids.
True.
That's a second class problem.
Oh, yeah, also what we were talking about earlier,
it was too bad about the men.
The run time, the 3 hours. I forget exactly what it is, but I think like the movie runtime is the exact length that it took for the Titanic to sink or something like that.
Oh yeah, the Titanic took just over 3 hours to sink.
Oh, that's cool. Is that like an Easter egg or is that like known? I guess it's unverified.
There was something else with the timing too.
The runtime of the movie is 3 hours 14 minutes, which is
it's up there,
pretty long. It's up there.
It's long.
It's long. I wouldn't cut anything. I'd add more arbitrary scenes of them walking on the deck and doing
I'd add
shit.
a few more jacks, a few more roses.
Of course.
Dude, I would squeeze it in.
The only things that weren't historically accurate, they made the grand staircase bigger because it was just made for smaller people, and the actors would have looked just huge on it if it was actual
that would have been
size.
hilarious.
And number 2, all of the stuntmen were under I think it was were 5'6" or something.
Like 5 foot.
Yeah, they were very small because
real short.
They had to make the boiler engine rooms small, or I can't exactly remember. They had to make them bigger or something, or smaller for the size perspective.
Yeah, they wanted it just to be proportionate, right? Same kind of thing as the staircase, just
so they have a bunch of wee little stuntmen.
And if you want to go into more detail, this isn't the biggest sink shipping, or the most deaths in a sink on a ship that sank. The SSS Eastland, a passenger ship in Chicago. Go listen to Cam's other.
Oh yes, yeah.
You did an episode on that, right?
Yet,
I'm not crazy.
No? We'll get to that. It's a famous ship sinking that killed more people around the same time, I believe, as this. I have a fact that we've all wondered, but this is verified. A recent investigation showed that had the Titanic hit head on, it would have survived. Though damaged, it would not have sunk and reached New York a day or two late.
God damn.
Wait,
what ifs.
If the Titanic had not turned and
the Titanic was so unsinkable that it could have just shoved through that, but they scraped the whole fucking side.
Yep. Oh, they got the sharp edge on the side, huh?
Yeah.
Should have rammed it.
If you're wondering, whoa, is that real footage of the Titanic at the beginning when the Bill Paxton crew's looking for it? Yeah, it is. And it's because James Cameron's really into underwater diving and shit.
Well, he had a real boner for the Titanic, and he kind of has admitted that he made this movie essentially just so he could have
it was on a TED Talk.
Yeah, he essentially did this so he could just go film the Titanic a bunch and dive, so... Good on him.
On to him a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got to be hard to work with because
he is very hard to work with.
He's infamously threatened to fire anyone who would dare to get out of this big water tank for a bathroom break. So everybody just was pissing themselves in the water.
Oh, but if you were an actor, would you be like, "Hey, let me get out of my costume for the next 4 hours to go piss"?
Famously, Kate Winslet almost left the production though because she was the only person not allowed to wear a wetsuit because of her costume being thin and it would be visible, and it was freezing.
I believe she got pneumonia or something on the set, or hypothermia. If you're wondering if James Cameron's difficult to work with outside of work and just marriage, he's been married 5 times.
Yeah, that's maybe a hint.
5 fucking. Can you imagine that? Your third wedding is okay, all right, what are we doing, Jimmy?
I think societally you should only be able to get married 3 times, and then after that you're done. You can't get married anymore.
You just have long-term relationships.
You got long-term relationships.
I don't want to burst people's bubbles, but Leonardo DiCaprio is not, well, I don't know if he's a talented artist, but he is not drawing the nudie pic of Kate Winslet. Who's that? It's him, James Cameron's hands.
It's even weirder.
We're seeing drawing Kate Winslet, but he's actually...
So when they cut to the hands drawing Kate wearing only this, it's his little skinny 55-year-old fingers.
I would have thought James Cameron had some sausage boys on it, sausage fingers.
Pretty
spindly little planning fingers.
Yeah, slender fingers.
Yeah. He's left-handed, so to make the shot work, they had to mirror reverse it so that it would be a right-handed drawing.
Certainly was worth it. Not at all creepy.
Yeah. Leo, let me take this over.
I think I could draw.
I know how to draw a perfect tit.
I want to draw you wearing this. Only this.
Only this.
My socks?
Okay, I'm sure there's a million things we missed. Let us know, or actually don't. Just research yourself. Enjoy it.
I have one big movie fact that I do want to throw in. Have you guys heard of the PCP thing with Titanic?
Oh, dude, go on about this. This is fucking crazy. Last night of filming, right?
Yeah, so this is a famous story. On the final night shooting in Nova Scotia, one or multiple criminals mixed PCP into clam chowder on the craft services table. So 80 people were taken ill and more than 50 were taken to the hospital. Initially thought it was like shellfish poisoning, but James Cameron noticed that one of the crew members was demanding to see a priest. The director of photography was leading a Congo line, and the assistant director was talking to a cameraman over a walkie-talkie while looking straight at him from a few feet away.
They're just drunk. Come on, James.
It gets crazier though, because
last night of shooting.
So when he mentioned that he was talking to him only a few feet away, that assistant also stabbed someone in the face with a pen.
Oh my God.
So James Cameron, before the drugs totally took effect, made himself vomit, but everyone had to go to the hospital. I'm pretty sure Bill Paxton, it took him like weeks to fully get it like out of his system. He just downed the clam chowder.
I guess he was like, it wasn't, because like PCP effects only last like, I guess a few hours, but he was just kind of like listing, like uneasy for like a couple weeks.
Which is also weird because I'm sure he did all of his shooting in like 4 days or something because it's just all
on that boat. Yeah.
Like he's like, I'm here for the rap party, guys. Oh, cool, clam chowder. I love it.
Clam chowder. I love spewing the clam chowder.
No one was ever caught for it, but Cameron always suspected that it was an ex-crew member who had been fired days prior who had an argument with catering. So that seems like the guy.
I also read that Old Rose, luckily, just because of her age, she dined elsewhere that night, so she was spared.
That would have killed
the
her.
Clam chowder incident.
Also, at her age, she would have, which is great because someone of her age would have just dove into clam chowder. They love a soup.
That's true. They love a soup. The old. Just for her support, she was the best supporting actress at age 87. She was the oldest best supporting actress for 19 years until Christopher Plummer in 2018.
Oh, nice.
Bastard.
To go on that, as I said before, it wins so many Oscars. It won 11 out of its 14 nominees.
Not too bad.
Kate and Leo didn't win, but
yeah,
like everything else did.
Dude, that's crazy. Like 14 nominees and didn't win any acting categories.
I think the funniest joke I saw on like some YouTube thing when I was watching stuff about the Titanic is a movie that was 3 hours and 14 minutes when best editing at the Oscars. You know?
Yeah.
Obviously, it was all the technical shit.
A couple last minute things. The most expensive first class suite on the Titanic costs $4,300, equivalent to about $75,000 today.
Jeez,
much.
Christ.
Bit much. And then have you guys, I literally stumbled upon this on TikTok like yesterday before I watched the movie. Have you heard this like conspiracy about the Titanic like not actually sinking?
No, but I'm sure.
So a ship did sink. This is a little bit, can jet fuel melt steel beams here, but follow along.
I've heard a few. Right? There's a few different conspiracy theories on the sinking. But
so the White Star Line is this like shipping company that owns 3 ships: the Titanic, the Olympic, and the Britannic.
Britannic.
Britannica. Yeah, thank you. The Britannic was like a warship. It looks a lot different than the other 2 ships. But the Olympic and the Titanic look eerily similar, almost down.
It was like the sister ship. They were like identical, I thought.
Yeah, they were like identical, except for one thing. The Titanic had 14 portholes on the side, and the Olympic had 16 portholes on the side. And the day that Titanic shoved off, it had 16 portholes. Everyone's wondering why. The Olympic was a lot older. It had been on the seas for a while. A lot of people think that they wanted to like send it out to sea, sink it for like insurance money, and take the parts. Like, 'cause it's expensive to build the Titanic. It's expensive to repair the Olympic. They wanted to shove it off and take the insurance money. A lot of notable people.
There were a lot of big bankers and like Rockefeller types
to cancel their tickets like a week before.
Oh, there was like inside trading.
JP Morgan was one of them, big name. Mr. Hershey, like Hershey's Kisses. He was known to like cancel his ticket. Also, besides that, there were 2 ships in the area the night the Titanic sank. One was the California, and one was the Carpathia, who ended up saving whatever.
Who came and picked him up?
A few people. Yeah, the life ships. The California was like an hour away, and the Carpathia was like 3 to 4 hours away, and that's the one that came to save him. So dig how you will.
There is some interesting stuff on that. Maybe we
Jet
would do
fuel
a deep
doesn't melt
dive.
steel beams, but
But the Titanic was sunk for malicious purposes.
yeah, I mean it's silly, but it's kind of interesting at the same time just to dig into that.
A note I did look up: is the Titanic bigger than modern day cruise ships?
No,
And
modern day cruise
not.
ships
It's
are
not. They're
huge.
gigantic. But I mean, I think it's not that far off, which is crazy. That's something.
Did
from
anybody look up how
1912.
they did some of the? Is it just like sound stage stuff, or did they have a boat that
They had
kinda
portions.
I think
they
they
had
sh-
different portions that they did build that were not to
They
scale.
had set
but-
pieces, but outside of like a big tank, I do think they shot some in like the Gulf of Mexico, maybe
they had-
like some of their bigger.
they
set
were like
pieces.
out in the ocean, like off the coast with like a backdrop in the shallows.
I really want to get, so this may be a good way to lead into like the CGI, so maybe we go on to questions, comments soon, because like I feel like you guys have a different opinion than I do on the CGI.
Interesting. Well,
Sounds like you're about to say it's awesome.
with that,
Let's lead into
let's break down some questions.
comments.
Animosities.
QCA off the bat. Let's go back into the CGI, guys. What do you think of the CGI? Does it hold up? It doesn't.
No, I thought it did. I thought it does. What specific parts do you think don't hold up? Obviously, like
it's more so the
Any
very-
wide shot where you see people on the deck
They
that are
look
CGI.
like a square PlayStation 1 driver.
they look like
people.
Sims. is what you're
Yeah, it
saying?
looks big time like Sims. You get
Their
stuck in a
arms
corner
are
and then
walking
you're.
really big, and it's very animated walking.
So before I keep going, Mark, you must.
Let me
must feel
defend it a
differently.
little bit here.
Okay.
I think there are parts that are obviously bad, right? I mean, the ship lifting out of the water, the hull, like with the propellers, that's bad. The people in the water, like it's bad. It's people jumping, maybe bad. I don't know. There's some moments where I think early on in the movie with the tugboats, I think kind of looks
Yeah.
decent, or like the dolphins. I feel like his CGI kind of looks decent.
I think that's the best part of
maybe
the
even
CGI.
mixed with some realism. Like, I don't know. I would have expected to hate it more than I did. I'm trying to think of a movie that I could be like, this is way worse.
So what I'll say that it obviously elevated is you're shooting in a practical set, but then your like backdrop is all CGI, and it that didn't age the best. But like every movie does that now. You know what I mean? Nobody really shoots on real locations except your Christopher Nolan anymore. True. So is that good or bad? I don't
Do you
know.
think this
Did
is
it-
maybe why it was like so groundbreaking at the time? Is because like maybe we hadn't seen a lot of this CGI
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
definitely,
Like,
definitely.
This is one of yeah.
And that's how I remember them touting it big time.
Yeah,
They're like,
sure.
you've got to see. They were pretty much telling us, hey, we couldn't remake the real Titanic, but we did visually with these effects. Can I say this though? Whatever the CGI, it aged whatever. It's it's a 25-year-old movie, but the practical effects still kick ass.
Oh
in
yeah,
this
the
movie.
water.
How old is Jumanji? I think it's better than Jumanji.
Yeah, but it also has a $200 million budget.
Okay.
And
So
James
you're saying
Cameron directed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood.
So question animosity. Before we fly this old lady out, can anyone verify her story or do a little fact checking on her? at
Oh, there's
all?
no way I would fly it. It was one phone call.
Well, it turns out she.
You're gonna want to take this.
like
Yeah,
Instead of telling me that whole
I
story,
hate
show me any of those pictures you put up in the boat that clearly show you as that age of
the
Rose.
Philip Seymour Hoffman character from Twister is definitely dead on. Like he's skeptical. I would be too.
Yeah. Although, hey, shout out Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Didn't remember that's
She
where
did. She did. So I did wonder that. I did write this down. They say that this broad, Rose Dawson, ends up in Cedar Rapids. They didn't specify Iowa, but I think we all assume it was, right?
I mean, what
Well.
other Cedar Rapids do you know?
Well,
I
actually,
don't know.
There was a sneaky ricochet shot. Can I just say
They do.
It was a nice Cedar Rapids drop, but he's like, now Calvert's dead, her old husband, and from what I hear, Cedar Rapids is also dead.
Yeah, there was some.
Ooh,
So
burn.
they mentioned us, but it was in poor taste a little bit.
that just happens to be where I live right now. And I'm raising my child.
Take it or leave
Chubby guy. Shout out to that guy. Really like the shirt. But let's move on to Bill Paxton. Can't get enough of the earring.
Oh, love it.
We're starting chronologically. I hope that he's like, listen, I'll do the movie, but I am going to wear an earring the whole time. And no, we're not going to talk about it. It's just going to be there.
I feel like this is where Harrison Ford got his 70-year-old inspiration for his spirit animal. You know.
Totally, dude. Yes.
I like that earring. Adeline.
Fine. We're going to Claire's and we're gonna pierce my left ear.
We'll start with the stud, but we'll move to the ring.
They can barely get that water drone into that passage in the Titanic, correct?
Yeah.
How did they get that safe out of there?
Didn't you see him crane it out? Boom.
Yeah, out of
Pull it
what?
out of the water.
They
Just
barely
crane
get
it out, Cameron.
Cut to like them blowing a hole in the side of the ship. Like, we found it. Perfect. Boom. Boom.
Listen, I know what they're searching for. They're searching for, well, I didn't at that time know that they're searching for the heart of the sea or whatever.
Ocean.
But they just saw into that like it's not a 100-year-old safe from the Titanic. They didn't try to preserve that at all.
Oh,
They're
they
And in
crank
the
it up with
documents
their
too,
hands.
he's kind of like tearing them up at just like
Yeah. I guess
Also,
they are treasure hunters and not archaeologists, right?
That paper could not withstand salt water at the bottom of the ocean, right? That's not a chance. That's
Not a
there.
fucking chance.
well, he used
No.
a certain medium. Jack Dawson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
charcoal
charcoal.
and
Charcoal.
I assume
charcoal
the
and
back of
loose
the I assume the back of the menu we got at dinner or something, you know.
He's a poor. He doesn't have
There's
a
a
lot of medical
placemat.
supplies. How did
Imagine
Jack get
going from, like-
overseas? How did he get there in the first place?
Yeah, they don't explain that.
He's 17. he
He's
left
a man
home
about
2
town.
years ago.
Is he supposed to be? What's their ages? Do we have ages on
War.
them?
Could it be war?
They're both 17.
Ooh, I don't like that.
He left
I'm-
home. He left Chippewa Falls at 15. He says.
and that was 2 years prior.
Yep. And then he ended up.
Oh,
in
that
France.
sucks. That means this is only his second trip ever.
Maybe he was like
went
a
to France and was
stowaway.
coming back.
Yep.
I think he said he worked on like cattle steamers or something like that. He mentions how he gets about town.
Hey, genuine question: were there famous paintings on the Titanic for Monet and shit? What's up with
Picasso.
that?
Oh, you mean actually?
Yeah,
There may have been, but there wasn't 40 of them.
and
I think it was
call me
maybe a little
crazy, but
Hollywood nod to just like the fact that
They're
Jack was
rich.
not like he didn't like any art, whatever. Billy Zane, I don't know.
Did never. I'm just gonna drop the.
What do
art
we
thing.
think about just in whole about 40 minutes before we get on the SS Titanic?
What do
You
you
know, do you like all that beginning bullshit of them looking for it, the old lady, and all that stuff? You guys big fans of starting with an old person and remembering back? Here's my Mount Rushmore of those that I can just remember.
I love it.
Oh,
we got,
I
League of
actually
Their Own,
really-
we got
I love
Saving
that.
Private Ryan. We got, I guess, The Notebook. That's
Notebook.
all of them right now, right? That's our top 4.
Green Mile.
Ooh, Green Mile's a good one.
Green Mile's actually my favorite one out of that. Maybe.
love it.
I
I
kind of hate it usually. Not a fan.
I'm fine with it. I'll take it or leave it. And this one's so fun because
So we've got a little like porridge cold, porridge medium, porridge hot. I
Yeah,
love
it's
it. Cameron
supposed
hates
to.
it. Jordan, it's nice.
Just right.
it's just right. It's fine. And especially with this movie, you take Paxton out of here and that chubby guy telling us how the Titanic sank, that's a lot of enjoyment. That's a lot of enjoyment out of a...
And her ass is sticking
That's
straight
a
up
big
in the
ass.
air. That's a big ass.
Hey, I didn't recast him, but Jack Black. I'll take it right here. I'll take it right now.
Yeah, it's fine. Do you guys remember, like, around when this movie came out, all the rumors that they were going to rebuild a Titanic and, like, we're making it again?
Oh, yeah. And everybody's like, we don't care.
yeah, they're like, well,
steamer? Like a big
Collectively,
steam
everybody's
ship?
like,
yeah, they were going to make a big replica.
yeah, I do remember them. I do
Replica
remember
or like,
them.
like it goes out on sea and you can buy tickets.
yeah,
I think it goes out on sea, but it's not like the full voyage, but more just like, hey, we're taking it around the
Nope,
bend.
I only want them to recreate the route back and forth between New York and Paris or wherever they left from.
Do you guys remember seeing this movie in theaters?
Yeah, of course.
Queensland.
I think we all saw it on the same day.
Probably
Our
Castle
whole
Theater.
town just collectively saw it. It was such a... I can't... I know we already covered this, but I don't think we'll have this big communal, like, society... Well, movies are dead anyway, movie theater experiences, but it's over. It's done. It's never going to happen again. I
It's
can't
an
believe
interesting
this
thing
is...
because like it was the talk between like even like middle school, elementary kids, and then it was the talk at like
like your dinner table with your parents.
with your parents or like even at work or like law firm. Like everyone was talking about this movie.
Here's
from
what I'll say.
kids
It's-
to adults.
As far as like an event where everyone's actually going out to see it, yeah, probably gone. But now it's just like, hey, this has been top 10 on Netflix all week, and it's water cooler
Yeah,
talk.
but-
And it's Wednesday. It's Stranger Things. You know,
I'm
it's
not...
like
No, yeah, but there'll never be the universality of
phenomenon.
this.
There'll never be like
Like the generational talk of it. Like everybody's talking about no, like winning Oscars again. Like a movie will probably has or will win this many Oscars again. Yeah, I do miss the communal aspect of, I guess, media. That's completely disappeared.
Sort of along the lines we touched on earlier, but like logistically getting old Rose to the Titanic.
she'll die in
sink
transit.
site.
Not worth it. Phone call.
Do we do that with helicopters? Can they travel that far? I guess I don't know a lot about helicopters.
I assume they like jumped her to jump her. Like she probably helicoptered from like a Navy base or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say the military has to be involved here. I think.
I would assume so.
Okay. Yeah, and then again to Cameron's point, like we got to vet who this is. Is she really telling the truth? Like, let's find out some.
Seems like it'd be
at least get her
easy to
social
do.
security. I don't know.
I mean, when they do have that Cedar Rapids thing, when they're like we trace her back to having these names at Ellis Island kind of thing, but whatever.
And then from like spinning pottery to like seeing your naked body on the news.
Oh,
that's
my titties.
stunning.
My titties. I guess, unfortunate for all of us, just finding this out, my 17-year-old titties. I don't like that.
That's true. That is true.
Oh, all right, we're jumping, but we're talking boobs. This movie's PG-13. How'd they sneak this into all of society to show boobs?
And they
Can't
got
show
One
boobs.
Hold on.
And they say fuck.
Boob.
We don't see both boobs?
Nope. I don't think you do.
We see topless drawings from Jack's thing, though. Of I think
But should we see
One
her
boob.
boobs? Is it just one?
boob. A throw pillow is covering the other boob. I promise you.
Mark
I promise
rewound
you.
that scene so many times.
Yeah,
And
I
really
know.
been talking about rewinding. How about an all-timer?
Or you got to fast forward the first tape, if you know what I'm saying.
For the boobs.
For the boobs. Kids, you're not going to remember this. You don't even remember DVDs. But this is 2 video cassettes.
True.
I guess
Two
they could
video
only
cassette
hold
tapes.
an hour and a half.
Did you guys?
each,
Did you guys own the two box set?
I think so.
I believe, yeah, we did, yeah.
we
I
did
used
too.
to say that there's 3 movies that people in our small town of Manchester owned growing up: Titanic, Twister, and Field of Dreams.
Buttercream game. Oh, sorry. Field of Dreams.
If you're Jack, are you going to the first class snobby party, or is it too weird?
Hell yeah, because I don't think they eat in storage. I have a big question about Jack as a friend.
Okay.
He just
Bails
bounces
on
on
Fabricio.
just bails on Fabricio. He's like, hey, we're going to have a total fun on this cruise. And then I don't see you until the Titanic's sinking.
Cut to
Get the fuck out
Fabricio
of here,
just sitting
Jack.
silently every night in their room with those like 2 like
With those 2
Swedish-
other guys,
Yeah.
Sven's friends.
Yeah. And they're like, where are our friends? I think they only asked where Sven is, and they didn't give a shit about it. Maybe they didn't know
And then
who the other
Sven
one
4
was.
days later is like, oh, my cousin's dead.
My big gripe with Jack as the worst friend, yes, he did go to the first class party, and he didn't bring back a cigar or anything for Fabricio. Get the fuck out of here, Jack. I brought back this, like,
Smoking hot redhead.
naive. I was going to say,
If
like,
I'm Jack,
really.
I'm going to smoke a cigar and some brandy. I'm sorry, Rose. Like, this sounds kind of fun.
Oh, they're gonna
bougie.
go talk in there and smoke and drink. Cool.
I don't know when you want me to get to, like, some of my biggest animosities, but as I rewatch this as an adult, maybe the love is true, but Jack is just asking to get his knees broke at least. He's being so flippant on first deck all the time.
Uncouth, isn't he?
I don't like it at all. He is uncouth. Like, grow up, Jack. I know you're only 17.
Kissing Rose's hand on her arm. Like, this is, I mean, wildly cocky.
He's pretty much saying at that whole dinner party, I'm gonna fuck your fiance. And he's saying that with a guy that I don't know what you call him, but he's got a henchman just in this blind spot the whole movie. He's like, this is my henchman.
Constantly
he doesn't have
flashing his real cool gun, just letting you know I'm ready to use it.
It's a cool gun.
I
Kim,
can't
that's a good
wait
point,
to
though.
kill
Like,
a third crafter.
I think besides Rose's mom, everyone at the dinner table is kind of just curious about like street rat life.
Yeah, it's
and,
fun. It's
and just they're
entertaining.
like, oh yeah, cheers to that. Like, cheers to this. Good for
Actually,
you.
as a kid, I thought that, and this is probably because of the narration, they were being real mean to Jack, but everybody was pretty civil.
No,
They're
everyone
like,
was
"This is
pretty
fun.
civil."
Hey,
Yeah.
we're all on a cruise. Bring up third class boy.
Bring
Let's
the
have fun
brandy.
tonight.
I know
Yeah.
that times were different for mental health awareness, but initially when she was over the edge of the rail, maybe Jack should have like quickly to the manservant or her fiance and be like, hey, she was about to kill herself though, so you might want to like keep an eye on her the rest of this cruise because like I think she's still a jump risk.
Yeah, we got a code 51 this bitch.
I've got problems
Especially
with
when
this
they're like,
I can't
especially when they're about to
believe they're
charge
the
him with
only-
like attacking her. Quickly be like, she's about to jump.
Or she should have piped in way earlier.
Yeah, it seems like 20 minutes later. She's
Way
like,
earlier.
So here's what happened.
And in a
He
real life
attacked
story,
me. Throw him
he
in the
would have been
bridge.
pretty bloody. Pretty beaten up and bloody. He wouldn't have just been like, hey guys, no, tell her, Rose, tell her. Rose.
Why was the like whatever the henchman like the only one to realize he had like his shoes off, his belt off, his
Mark,
he's
he
down
loves
to
to
just a
murder.
condom.
He's just
'Cause the
looking
other
for
guys
an
are-
excuse.
The other guys are so wealthy, they don't see things like
Yeah,
that.
they
don't have
amidst
time.
their brandy boys time.
Plus, they're probably just sloshed. They've just been all the.
True.
They're on a cruise, Mark. They're living that cruise life.
You guys ever been on a cruise?
Nope.
I haven't.
Open
No,
water
you?
scares me, Mark.
I have.
Worth it? Fun? Recommended?
It is, but like honestly, I got motion sickness like the third day. Everything was chill, and then like on the way back, it's like that slow rock. that
That's a bummer.
just doesn't stop.
Question: if you're Bill Paxton, at what point are you like, "Come on, lady, get to the point and tell me about the
Well,
diamond"?
he did, and she's
I
like,
think
"Don't you want to hear the story?
The moment she opens her mouth,
It's been
the moment she's like, "Oh, this was a
years."
mistake." The moment she starts unfolding pictures she brought from home,
This is an afternoon lunch. This is what are you doing?
What are we doing here? I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think you have
costing them
overnight.
so much money as treasure hunters.
Oh yeah, and not only this, I don't know what the insurance liability is of treasure hunters, but bringing over a 100 to 101-year-old woman, not a smart idea.
Not good for their insurance. Also, just comment, Rose goes from "we can't talk" to "draw my bush in 24 hours." Just throwing that out there. It's quite the jump.
I do like, if we're talking about Jack's art, he's like, "Oh, Rose, no, look, I loved her hands." But then he just flips to, let me just get past this bush, this bush.
page.
I know
Here's a
there's hands in
one-legged
here
prostitute.
somewhere.
Like,
Yeah.
he drew like a.
Jack,
She
this
had
is
the best
1912
hands.
Hustler. My God.
I mean, it worked. He picked I don't know, a naive person of his age, similar age, but like, man, they're not going to make it, right? Those two, like, it had the Titanic not sank,
No, she got to
chance
live
in hell.
through all those dreams because she still had money when she landed in New York, and that's why she's going horseback riding on the beach. And
But did she have money? Because
no,
just
she
lied,
starts
right?
a whole new life and a new
She
identity.
starts a whole new life. I will save it towards the end, but I have a huge animosity I've never thought for that just really pisses me off about this movie. Stay
wait.
tuned.
Jumping off a cruise ship off the back just for Rose's, like, she's sad. Jumping off the back of a cruise ship seems like a real bad way to like unalive
to
yourself.
slowly drown in the
Unalive.
water.
Yeah, that would have been bad. You know what I
I
do
mean, I guess
love,
it happened
though?
anyways to
Think how
everybody else,
many
but-
people. I assume that on the Titanic, statistically, there must have been a couple suicides or a couple henchman murders, but they're all getting chalked up to the sinking of the Titanic. Our
Yeah.
hands and our consciences are clean.
That's why the servant's going ham.
I
at
guess
the end.
nobody's excited about that as
Clam
I am.
chowder 19.
If how far chronologically, where are we moving? I'll tell you what annoys me so much. Not how flippant Jack is with flirting with a married man, a rich married man who's obviously like outwardly bad and like mean and evil, right? He's like, I'll slap people, I'll like whatever. He just won't stop being on the upper deck. I don't even think he should be allowed there. He's a
He
third class
got a little
person.
cocky after the dinner, didn't he?
I do not like that. He was way cocky before the dinner. I cannot believe that henchman didn't rough him up a bunch. And I would have kind of been on the henchman side.
He's
'Cause
going
listen,
to church. He's like trying to break into church. Like, come on, Jack. What are we?
You don't
doing
remember
here?
me from last night? I was a street church. It made good.
You smell like Guinness, my guy.
Oh, you just
No
reek
kidding.
of smoke and
you
cheap
just reek
alcohol.
of smoke and
Yeah.
Guinness.
I do want to say, I feel like when we went to the third class party, Fabrizio was cleaning up too. I think he did well. He didn't have to show like nude pictures. He's like, I'm Fabrizio, and we're gonna.
Here's where we're at chronologically. Fabrizio's accent. Oh my God, it's horrible.
I'm not
oh
me.
my
That's
God.
a spicy meatball.
It's a little over the top. It's like Gorlami.
It's a me,
It is
Mario.
so over the top. It's insane.
I feel like he's like Fabrizio, my brother Luigi, and Mario. I don't know where they are. It's me. It's us.
So
No one vetted that.
For that reason, I didn't even try to recast him because, like, what am I gonna do?
Nah, I left the friends alone. They have like 2 scenes in a 3-hour movie, you know?
But on top of that,
And it's them dying. It's meeting them and then
I
them
just-
dying.
Do you guys remember the Irish friend being part of the crew?
A bigger
no,
deal.
They just meet him on the ship.
Yeah.
I think they're like, hey, we're vibing with this guy. This guy seems
Yeah, I
chill as
remember.
fuck.
I remember
just a
maybe him
vacation
part of
friend.
like the poker game. Like they were all kind of there.
Nah, he's just
Yeah,
like,
no.
I'm here on the Titanic. I'm here to make friends. I'm
The
new in
best thing that
town.
happened to him was he got shot in the heart.
Oh yeah, better way to die.
Yeah, that's
I would
Accidentally
say
shot in the heart. Like
best 3 ways to die. Guy shot himself after the guy that shot him in the heart is like, this isn't going to end well. This is going to be a long night of work for me. I'm just going to kill myself now. Not
I've
a
got
bad
a lot
idea.
of heavy lifting to do for this.
It's going to be a long night for me. And can I go on to the captain?
Yeah.
If I was a captain, I'm not going down with the ship. In this case, though, a lot of questions to answer afterwards. Not a bad choice to go down
Yeah,
with
he's
the ship
going to
on this
face
one.
some stuff. Maybe he's like, well, there's an option you're not seeing, gentlemen.
Gonna be
There's a
in the
chance you're gonna get your headline after all, Mr. Smith, whatever his fucking name is.
Hey,
it's
do
dead
you
on
think
quote.
it's a bad sign if you hear a little rumbling and you're like, did we hit something? And then you see the architect of the ship and the captain staring into the fires and clocks, distance.
Yeah.
Like with the distance there, you think that's a bad sign?
if you
Also,
see
I
a
don't want to
ripple in
start
the
a
glass of
panic, but I'm
water-
going to tell you two, like a third class passenger and a 17-year-old girl, what's happening precisely.
He really clicked with that 17-year-old girl.
If you see a ripple in a glass of water, it's either there's a T-Rex or the fucking ship is sinking.
Okay,
That's
it's
all.
it's not good. And if the leadership is staring off in the distance, it's not good for you guys.
He was checked out from the jump.
He's like,
from the jump.
This is going down. Let me go to the fireplace. She will falter. I do have though I'm so happy the full ship sank because whoever car that was would have to raise hell. They're like, did somebody fuck in my car? Did I pay $20,000 to ship my car and have somebody fuck in it?
Oh, also,
Man,
watching the movie,
like faces. Just I thought we were gonna get some reaction there.
Watching the movie last night, check out that
like
back
sex in
seat.
here.
It's like a 2-seater back seat, and they are laying comfortably across it. It seems.
I think somebody's pointed out that the logistics of where her hand hits the glass and how they're laying, it's like, what were they doing? Like, it doesn't match up.
Twister.
They knew different positions back then. Don't discredit
Well,
flexibility.
I assume that at that time Rose had not had sex yet, and Jack had only had sex with prostitutes.
It was the most sexual. It was the most romantic.
It was the most erotic moment of my life to that
until
point.
30 minutes later. I have an animosity. So when the manservant is dropping the diamond into Jack's pocket, his hand is in that pocket. He would feel that heavy ass he would feel the weight of it enter his coat.
I literally thought the same thing, but maybe it's like a different, like, you know, like those pea coats maybe have like a different like side pocket or like.
Sure, but bigger
pocket.
than the Hulk diamond drops into your pocket. You're gonna feel that.
So eventually, what would he do just then? Like, what the he would. Like, what would the reaction you'd want to see be? Just be like, hey, you like right then and there, like, you slipped this into my pocket.
Yes. In fact, that's what I should start doing when I rob people. Did you just drop this in my pocket?
Did he just steal that guy's wallet? I think he stole his wallet. Here's the deal, though. Like, no matter innocence or not innocence, like, Jack, you're trying to get with some engaged man's wife in first class. There's no like due process for you.
Nah.
Like they could shoot you and throw you overboard. You don't even have an identity. You have somebody else. You have some Sven's guy's ticket. Like he's just being so dangerous. He's like Maverick. He's dangerous.
Speaking of dangerous and crazy behavior, that manservant stays with him until water's
I don't like that you're calling him manservant.
He is, man.
He's a henchman.
Henchman, whatever.
Henchman is better.
He stays with Jack until like the water's up until the window. Like, hey, buddy, let it go. Maybe go to the top.
No, that guy knows he's not getting on a boat. He's gonna go out doing what he loves: serving cow,
serving
and
men,
roughing up the poor. Do you want a real logistical problem I have with this movie?
What's that?
Rose and Jack, they spend a lot of time below deck while the ship is sinking, right? When she rescues them and they're trying to, dodge Cal and whatever. They're going upstairs. They're going downstairs. They spend a lot of time below deck. They rarely run into any dead floating bodies or anybody else panicking to get out, except for like 2 little corner pieces. There'd be a shit ton of people, wouldn't you think, everywhere?
You'd assume, but I mean, wouldn't you try to get to the top if you feel the boat going down? Maybe everyone should
I
start
think a lot of people maybe were up top, but then like to your point,
everybody's up top at that point. They're like, "Hey, good, it's clear, except for this dad and his one kid."
Clearly, not everybody. Like the elderly couple that just was like, "We're not getting on a boat. Let's just go to bed." I don't know, like take some
yeah, no kidding. Yeah, they probably had cool what was it, absinthe or something? Like they nodded out or opium. What were people taking in 1912? They were good. They were fine.
Yeah, the mom and the 2 kids.
That's sad. I don't like that. That's
I just think she was oblivious. I don't even know if she knew what was going on. I think she was just putting her kids to bed.
Oh, well, that's not too bad.
What's gonna do it? We didn't.
That takes away fear.
Like 40 seconds later, when the water hit the bed and shit hit the fan.
Yeah, there's a lot of screaming children.
Yeah,
a lot of screaming children.
Cut to her. I was gonna say drowning her kids in that room.
You don't just just sleep through that. There's screaming involved. There.
Creepiest part of the whole movie, besides the score, is just haunting and chilling the whole time. We all agree on that, right?
Say what?
The score. I don't like it. I'm just haunting, scary. I don't even like it. I want to quit the podcast right now. It's so scary. I can't believe how many workers on this boat are dedicated to their job. I can tell you what, if I was a worker and I was near the boat, I'd be like, I'm getting on this boat. All you motherfuckers can get fucked.
Question.
I would not.
What position on the boat gets you to be one of the lifeboat captains and go down with it? Like, all right, lower it with me in it. How do you be that guy?
You're so close. Yeah. I'd rather be the guy that just drowns, like trying to keep the poor people from coming up the stairs, than be like so close to like.
There is no way on my watch that one poor person is getting out of here, and I will die trying. I can promise you that. Look me in the eyes, poor people. I've been living for this.
That was a funny aspect, though. To one of you made the point was just like how dedicated they are to the job. Is like, shut up, like or like all the punches to the face of these poor crew workers.
There's only one crew worker. He got punched in the face, and he's like, "The hell with you!" And I feel like he got out. He's like, "I'm not working today anymore. I'm getting on the ship. I'm getting the fuck out of here."
It's just the same guy getting punched over and over and like berated. I'm sorry.
I got punched 4 times today. I know it's stressful. I will say this though. You ever been at a job and you're like, "Oh, it just goes from bad to worse," and you're like, "This night's never gonna end." That's the guy who's at the helm of lowering the boats. A lot of responsibility there. I get why he's freaking out. Stressful job. He's not the one that kills himself. He's just like a lot going on.
What about just the men and the women and children first? Would you honor it, or would you try to sneak on a boat?
I would honor it until, like most people, we saw the water hit my heels. I'm like, maybe I'm going to get on a boat.
It's a little bit nippy.
Listen, I gotta listen. I don't want to defend Cal because he is the villain, and I think 2 things can be true. He's a bad guy, right? He's mean. He's elitist. But he also did try to save Rose, and as bad as it seems, I do believe he saved a 3rd-class kid that wasn't going to get on a boat.
You got to hope he gave her a good life and didn't. Well, he does kill himself during the big crash a few years later.
There's no way he gave her a good life.
Yeah, so he just ditched her on the boat.
He probably took $5 out of her pocket if he saw it or something. He's like, yoink. He really Mr. Burns it. Yeah, but so does the henchman. He's like, me too. I'm going to go kill the poor. I can't wait.
Okay, so what is your play as a man on the Titanic? You're just waiting until like boats run out.
Cameron, let me read you some stats here.
Sure.
First class men survived 33%. Only a third first class. Second class 8.
Ooh. Third class
no 16.
Stats. Oh, whoa. That's because they're like, they're a little shiesty. You can get
those
fucked.
little rats
I don't
scurried
care
on the
about
boats.
you. Yeah, second class is like middle management. They like play by the rules, but third class is like not a chance. If I get to the roof, if I get to the top, if I see light for the first time on my goddamn cruise, I'm getting on a boat. I'm not going to not see light for 4 days and then die in the Titanic.
Male crew, 22% survived.
Oh.
So you're 78%. That's you're dedicated. We got to let the poor suffer. I'm gonna watch it happen.
I'll tell you who had the best gig. It's the staffers is like, okay, we need somebody to lower it, but we're definitely gonna need a staff member to row the boat, right? Let me be the rower. I'm a real good rower.
I'm already in. Yeah,
I'm already in. I got my spot. You just got to do it like shotgun.
I've got a loud voice.
Yeah, you just got to get on and acting like you're supposed to be there, and then no one's going to question it. Or you can just be like the builder and you could just hop on, and people will shame look you, but that's fine.
Is that the guy, the builder, like your investor? He's not the architect. What was his role? I can't quite remember.
His role was encouraging the captain to go faster and faster.
Yeah, must go faster,
he
must
was
go
the one
faster.
Who, like, it was, yeah, he had an investment.
He was just more like investment in the line. He's like, we really want to turn heads, right? He did it.
Yeah.
His was dirty, but, if you're going to survive, like, he did it right. He's like, I'm just going to sit right here and just kind of stare off while everybody dies.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, at that point, what a shame look like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ashamed, but I'm way happier. Can I say this? I think that Rose, being so naive and useless because she's like rich,
and 17,
I think Jack would have gotten out on his own had he not had to like cater to her needs. He probably could have found his way to a boat somehow.
He's a really likable guy. So would have been like, hey, you.
I feel like him and Fabricio would have been like high fiving, and be like, let's get off this fucking boat, man. Yeah. Unfortunately, our Irish friend that we met 2 days ago did get shot. He was going to die no matter what. I actually have his life jacket now. It was sad, but I can't waste a life jacket.
Did you guys ever just start? Like, I remember a few times I just watched
just because you want the action,
just for the action.
Yeah,
I want an hour and a half movie of just action.
Yeah, I think I've never hopped in the middle. I've always just watched.
Oh, you should do it. It's great. You just get everything.
Yeah,
I might play the opposite. I might stop in the first one, be like, I get it. This ship
a happy ending.
I'm fine with this.
Hope they made it off together,
and they live happily ever after.
Question to you guys: does anyone still try to hold their breath with Jack when the ship goes under? Because I do it every time still.
I used to do that in movies. Anytime,
that's fun.
Anytime it happens in a movie, it's actually not that hard.
Anytime a character would go underwater, I would try to hold my breath, but they suppress time. It's
how many seconds would you say that is? Like
30 maybe.
20?
Yeah, like under 30 or
25,
under maybe.
30.
It's not that long, but it's a
I have an animosity. Rose with the axe is just an extreme liability.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Do
Lucky
not
that
close your
Jack
eyes.
gets out there with all of his appendages and digits. Like, I mean, he could have died right there. He should have died right there.
He should have died right there.
And then Jack
his,
bled out from the stump I caused because I closed my eyes swinging the axe. Anyway, here's the diamond.
I guess he was thinking, I'm gonna die. I don't want to drown to death on the SS Titanic. Well,
You keep
Bad
saying
form hunter.
SS Titanic.
RMS. Royal Mail Ship.
what is it?
RMS.
SS might be military.
RMS. Sorry, we'll just
Royal Mail something. Service or ship.
But look, luckily Cameron and Mark spoke up for you listeners at home that were like, this guy is fucking just ruining this for me.
He doesn't know his ships at all.
I don't know my ships at all. A schooner is a sailboat, you idiot.
Maritime.
Okay, I just have to say my biggest animosity, and I think we all thought it for years, the word choice of "I'll never let go." I get she's saying to the dream, to the ideas, but you don't say that while you're letting go of someone and they're sinking away out of you.
Yeah, it's not even figurative. She's literally letting go.
Yeah. There's a big animosity
Okay.
when I was a kid still. is.
Jillian said that earlier, but I wanted to be more like romantic about it.
I want her to say, like, I'll always remember you as she shoves his head under the water.
Pushes him down. Yeah. And like now, what would have really happened is she was pretty stuck to his hand. She would have like, I'll never forget you, but then she's gonna have to like rip off his hand and still carry it with him because he's pretty frozen to her.
Or, like, I don't know if, like, a frozen body sinks, but I feel like she would have let go and he would just float face up.
I think it would have stayed floated like
Yeah,
right there.
that's
Like
what
I don't think it was going
He would
anywhere.
just be starfish face down in the water.
Yeah, she had, like you kind of heard some cracking when like she ripped his hand off, but then when she like ripped the whistler out of that guy's mouth, nothing.
Yeah, that had to have done a little skin on that.
So I guess we'll make the debate, and I actually think since this is the 25th anniversary, it's re-brought up the debate. Was there room for Jack on?
I mean, this is the biggest question, right? Maybe biggest question in movie history.
I've said this for years, and I think it's because we've had it's like having a zombie
It's like
plan.
this
I
and
have
Who Shot First.
Well,
like
I have
Han
the foresight
Solo
to think about it, but I think I could tear out some dressers, a bed frame, and make some sort of flotation device in the last few minutes.
I
Couple
would have
tables.
taken all the life jacks nobody took and just made like a little raft of life jackets.
Were there just not enough? Why was Jack again being so cocky and uncouth and just he just didn't have a life jacket?
His arrogance killed him.
He should have been like, all right, you have a life vest. I need that table so I don't have to tread water. So you wait in the water. I'm going to float up on this.
The real
Jack
answer
is
is they
punching
could
people
rotate
in
it.
the water. He's punching people trying to survive. He's like, he got him 3 times. Kill shot.
He
Bam,
punches
bam,
a guy
bam.
without a life jacket. That guy's dead. He killed that man.
He killed a guy.
He killed a guy.
Blood on his
Hey,
hands.
but the Titanic killed that guy. That was murder. There's a lot of murder happening that,
There's people jumping off awfully early. Maybe they
Seems like you shouldn't jump off at all is what the thing is, too.
You want to be as probably warm, like not wet as possible. Like
I guess you're
as long as
thinking, like,
possible.
I'll jump off now, swim to a boat. They got to let me on. Is that your logic, maybe?
Or
Yeah,
like maybe they.
for anybody that's jumped off a boat and had to swim in real water,
Yeah, and like
your eyes are bigger than your stomach.
Especially with
No, not even that. It's just like I could definitely swim half a mile.
Well,
It's
especially
not
with
even that far.
especially with a life jacket on, you make no progress. So you're just barely moving.
It's almost like that's trying to swim with a life jacket. is
Oh,
like-
and then on top of that, with a ball gown on and old timey 1912s shoes,
Yeah, like 4 layers of clothing.
fuck, you got your goddamn hat's weighing you down because it's got a full vulture on it.
Terrifying trickle down. There were stunt jumpers who did jump off set pieces into the water. They dug pits because they were just off the coast. The water was only 3 feet deep, mostly around the ship.
What?
But they had like deep spots specifically for people to jump in. And then when they surfaced, they would get on their like knees and crawl to make it look like it was deep.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
That's really scary. I
So
don't
they
like
had
that
to
at
like
all.
jump in like a little like a perfect spot for them to not like break their legs.
Yeah, they had furniture.
That's
They had like
crazy.
floating furniture and shit marking kind of the boundaries of the jump spots.
Wow.
That's scary.
Yep.
I don't like that at all. I guess we should say
Oh, you want to talk about the propeller guy?
Oh, yeah.
Classic.
yes, the propeller
Classic
guy. Thank
propeller
you.
guy.
I mean,
Did you-
that's an all-time. If I had to like take 3 clips from the movie, that's in it. The propeller guy makes the final cut.
10-year-old
If you
me
just get-
like that. Like I would watch. I'd rewind that.
I don't know when I stopped saying, oh, I might have said it today when I watched it.
I said it today.
Oh, it's bees. There's another bad one, like right when the ship gets completely vertical and someone like falls.
Yeah,
from the
there's
top
a guy that ricochets
rails,
like
yeah.
in the bar. It's like,
That's bad.
but
Pinball
nobody makes
situation.
a bigger splash, figuratively and literally, than a propeller guy, right?
Sticks in our minds still. Propeller guy.
God damn. I didn't hate the guy at the top with Jack and Rose, who was kind of just like taking some photos
yeah.
of
Boy RD?
Yeah, Chef Boy, exactly.
But what I liked about him is like, we're not going to talk, but we're in it, aren't we? We're
Mondays,
really in it now. Wednesdays, huh? You're telling me. I started in the funny thing is, though, his eyes were like, I made it out of the kitchens. Where did you come from? First class, you fucking assholes. You see anybody else from the kitchens? Just me. When they finally turn back and they're like, hey, we should probably get some of the survivors people that swam out. Let's get them in this boat. We've got to go back now.
Yep,
They're so bad at their job. How many people did they just go past? I mean, they got Rose and 6 others, but there had to be a couple other people. It's like, we're right here. Please help us. But they were just out of sight. Just enough. Those guys weren't great at their job.
Or like the main guy was like, don't hit them with your oars. There had been a couple like,
Tink.
oh, shit, sorry.
Shit.
Oh,
God,
fuck.
Yeah.
The right time to go back is after you hear those hour and a half of blood-curdling screams. Once it gets quiet, it's like, right, we've got to go back now.
It's all quiet.
That's my impression.
Can we touch on the string quartet?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, how could we forget? Yeah, that's a huge part. Go on.
I mean, heroes. Like, what are we... these guys... Do we
What
know
you
their
didn't know
names?
is like 5 minutes when they were done, the bass player killed 2 third-classers. Just cuz.
He had a gun.
I don't blame them. I'll tell you what. Okay, so they play forever. Professionals. Maybe too professional, right?
Little too.
Way too professional. But after they're like, it's been an honor playing together, they go their separate ways. They're like, you die where you want to die. I'm going to die where I want to die. But then the violinist is like, nah, this is how I want to go out.
Of course,
I'm
Dave
not
starts
coming back.
Yeah, you hear that and you're like, God damn.
You see a far shot of me with the cello running, sprinting down the
Scurrying off.
Oh my God, I got to get up.
Also, not easy to scurry with the cello.
No, but possibly floatable.
But it is the most buoyant. It's got to be the most buoyant.
Not a bad call,
Yeah,
Cameron.
that bass might save that guy.
It might have a chance.
Double bass Cameron survived.
Yeah, but you also got to think that thing's probably like flipping a lot in the water. That guy trying
Like,
to
oh God damn, I just can't grip it. I just can't grip it. Oh
he
God.
can't stay out of the water.
He's on like a mechanical bull in like Austin, Texas.
I guess that's the argument that there isn't room for the two. Because have you ever gotten on like a paddleboard or something, or like a surfboard, and you just can't quite get on it, and it keeps flipping? Maybe
Sure.
that's Rose's defense. It's like,
yeah.
you know, like it's tough to get on. So there's your defense. Especially if you've been given everything in life, it's really tough to see others. And I think that's Rose's biggest problem. This brings me back. Let's say the ship's not going down.
Yep.
Rose tries to break up with Cal with like 2 days of ship time left. What is she thinking?
Yeah,
He's
she's
got
on the
a
run.
henchman.
She's on the run for...
Do you know how annoying it is?
It's like those guys wanted their kneecaps broken by that henchman.
Do you know how
They're on
annoying it
the
is for
run
Sven's
before
cousin when Jack Dawson shows up with someone from first class? Like, she's bunking here too.
Yeah, and she eats way more than us. She's used to a different type of lifestyle.
And she can put him down.
Yeah, she can just really... Oh, I'm really pissed about this. Here's another example of her first classiness. When she's down on the third deck party, she takes the Irishman's cigarette. You get your own fucking cigarette.
I think they steal a couple beers too, like from like...
Yeah. You think it was easy for third classers to get beer? Yeah.
Although also a sneaky move.
They had to brew it in the first 2 days of their fucking trip. It was a lot of work. They were just handing out beer to storage class.
I also like when Jack asked for a cigarette from the henchman. He's like, hey, can I bum one? And then he puts one behind his ear.
Nice.
Classic. Again, Jack just being kind of...
He's a street urchin. He's a street bum.
And to go back, that's why there's
cocky
more
bastard.
third class men that made it out. They're like, I'm definitely getting off this ship.
Yeah. Before we get to the necklace, you can actually go and on YouTube watch a reenactment of the Titanic
I
sinking.
thought it was you that got
it's a-
weirdly into the real... yeah, okay.
Well, I don't know about weirdly, but weirdly into this shit. You can just and they put in the blood curdling screams. Like it is. The lights go out. The ship sinks.
There was a band practice where Mark was like, "Hey, I'm really into Titanic right now," and all of a sudden he cuts to the middle of like a 3-hour YouTube video, and it's like the ship with the lights off and just like screams.
And then the next band practice, he had like brown wool pants on and one of those weird gray striped shirts and suspenders and
Cool.
stuff. He's just playing the part. Not too bad.
The diamond.
Okay, it just pisses me off. She's so selfish. I can't believe that old broad gets away with it.
We're of course talking about old Rose throwing
did she?
the diamond over the ship. At least maybe tell it. Like this could be best case scenario because you know where the ship's at, so you know there's probably just like a 300-yard radius directly below that ship where it maybe could have fallen.
Yeah, but they're in the like it's so easy to find stuff on the bottom of the ocean.
Okay, yeah.
They're looking with like a 4-foot wide flashlight perimeter. That's like what they get to see.
They said
they're never gonna fucking find
the
that.
Titanic traveled a half a mile as it sunk away from whatever original point it was at. But imagine like Bill Paxton, like maybe he does want that last cigar, and he's just like he's out on the bow, like smoking the cigar, and he just sees, oh, what's she doing out there?
Have you seen the alternate ending deleted scene?
What's she pulling out of her pocket?
No, what is it? Oh my God! No, please, no!
Imagine how pissed she is.
Check it out.
I'd be more pissed if I was her granddaughter.
There's an alternate ending. They did film Bill Paxton being on the deck and him being like, Rose, no, and she just still does that.
Really?
And he watches her throw it over. So
I hate the noise she makes. She does make it.
oopsie.
I'm gonna go to my quarters and die now.
You only assume.
Well, she dies, right? Because she goes back to the Titanic.
Yeah, her daughter or granddaughter, like, what the fuck, Grandma?
I'd be so mad. I'd be like, you kidding me, Grandma?
We were so
This is the
poor
first time I
over
hear
time.
you're on the Titanic. I gotta see your 17-year-old boobs on the news and then find out that you gave up the Hope's diamond. You gotta be kidding me, Grandma. Plus, you made me grow up in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Possibly Iowa.
We assume.
How pissed would you be to be Bill Paxton, the crew? It's like, we flew this 101-year-old broad on, and then she died the first night she was here. Not
She'd make a
super
similar
excited.
noise to when she dropped the fucking heart of the ocean into the water.
And she wasn't even done with her story. She's on day 2 of the ship.
Did you bang, though? Did you bang?
She's not going to heaven. She's either going to purgatory or hell, or the 5 people you meet in heaven is like her version of heaven. Because nobody on the Titanic would be waiting for Rose to get there. My assume is she's the last person to die from the Titanic, and the curse is lifted, and that's why they're all plotting. Who gives a shit about Jack and Rose?
And do you know what else sucks? You're like, oh yeah, it's me, that servant from the Titanic. I just love serving so much in the Titanic
no
that I've
kidding.
just come back here. Let's move it on to recasting. Recasting. I kept it a little short, but I do have some stragglers at the end. I did Andrews and I did the henchman. I'm just gonna throw those.
I've got the
I
henchman.
did Andrew's henchman. I also did Bruce Ismay.
I was going to, but I left him off. Andrews, Alan Cumming. Thoughts?
Which one's Andrews?
He's the shipbuilder
Ooh, I
that
like
goes
that.
down with the clock.
Sort of charming,
Okay.
kind of like innocent. Oh, I like Alan Cumming a lot, even just look wise.
Thank you.
Jordan, who'd you have?
I had David Morse.
I believe
He's,
he's in Suburbia.
Oh, yeah,
Suburbia, yeah. Or Disturbia.
I like that a lot less.
Yeah. So it looks like
I had Hugh Grant, and I don't know, it just sort of
I could see that kind of charming,
just
likable.
Younger guy.
What about the henchman? That's where I could see the guy Jordan just said.
Ooh,
I got a weird one, so I'm going to say it. Roll with me here. I'm going Bill Nighy.
Too
Serious
frail.
Bill Nighy.
He's too frail. He's not
Okay.
intimidating.
Uh,
I did.
well,
he's kind of
He's
intimidating.
got
He's frail, though.
he's
to your
frail.
point.
He is frail, but you know what's intimidating? A gun and resources, financial resources. Not being able to be said no to. Okay,
I did
all right.
Jim
Over
Carter.
two.
He's the butler from Downton Abbey. He's like the main guy with the deep voice from Downton Abbey.
Okay.
He's just very proper.
Ooh, I actually like that, Cameron.
Thank you.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I could
Just
I can see that. An old man who's willing to
he's
shoot
probably
people.
too young for this, but like maybe
Now.
nowadays.
Now maybe. Yeah.
Oh, I missed your Ismay or whatever the other builder. Mark, who'd you have for that? I didn't have it.
He's a snively guy, right?
The dad from Jumanji.
Okay, I didn't have him.
I did Alan Rickman. Sort of a Snape-ish kind of.
I can maybe see that.
I had Alan Rickman as my second henchman, but I figured you guys
Yeah.
would say no to that.
Cameron, to your point though, apparently there's like 100 speaking parts in this film, and like there's just
Yeah, we
the cast-
we can't
the
do
cast
everybody.
you got to chop it up.
Bill Paxton,
1, 2, 3, Jinx.
Dennis Quaid.
Bill Pullman.
Oh, interesting.
Mark for the tiebreaker.
I like Dennis Quaid.
Hear me out. I
didn't have.
You go for it.
I didn't have any of those. I did Matthew McConaughey.
I can see that.
That's great.
I was also thinking
actually
Kevin
like that better.
Costner.
Kevin Costner would be
with
perfect.
the earring.
With the
everybody has
clearly.
the earring. That's non-negotiable. That's why, for that reason, I think actually.
Would you guys ever consider like a little gold earring?
Yes, I would.
Every day of my life?
No. Okay.
I can't pull it off.
The
though.
unsinkable Molly Brown.
I actually like mine. I feel like this is the only one I did well.
I kind of like mine too.
Melissa McCarthy.
That's what I did.
Damn it.
Oh.
All right. Well, good.
I thought that was too chalk almost. Just like now, like that's.
I needed a
so
shot.
that means
I needed
it's
a
good.
win.
She was funny and likable. We need funny, likable there. Melissa McCarthy can fill that.
More towards like the '90s, like Frances McDormand.
Oh,
I could see.
I'm
I
like
could
that.
see that
Do you
being
want a non-pop? Can I tell you my first
New
one?
rich, new money.
Anybody thinking Rosie O'Donnell?
too much.
A little too brash. Okay.
much.
All right.
I had Bette Midler as my B
Ooh.
team.
I can see that.
That's not bad.
Did you guys have any other small characters before? I had the mom.
I didn't do a mom.
I'm gonna throw
I
a
did the
wild
captain.
card at you for the mom.
I did the captain.
Oh, give me the captain.
And I did
I
did the mom too. Captain is Christopher Lee, Saruman from LOTR.
I'm gonna
so
do
I kind of went a
the
similar route.
White hair, sort of stoic.
fisherman from those fish stick and or pea packages. I want that guy.
What are they
the
called?
Gordon's
Yeah.
fisherman.
Yeah, the guy.
Gordon's
yeah,
fisherman,
yeah,
yeah.
that's my captain.
Trust
Well,
the
that's-
Gordon's fisherman.
Better than mine. I went Richard Harris.
Also frail. You're going to frails.
Is that Dumbledore?
Yep, first one, best
That's
one.
Dumbledore. I actually think Richard Harris would work better as an
Ian
architect.
McKellen, like you could do any
Maybe.
of those, like
All right, I didn't do so hot.
wizard
I'm over
type.
Okay, the mom's a weird one. Her now, Charlize Theron.
weird. Now
Yeah,
that one's off.
she's not overly old in this movie, the mom, but she can.
Yeah, but she's not overly
Charlize Theron can
strikingly
be-
beautiful.
have
and Charlize
a
Theron.
very-
I think you're thinking of another short-haired blonde actress named Glenn Close.
That works better.
That's better. Sure.
I don't know. This is my.
Who'd you have, Jordan?
Deborah Messing now, because it looks like her, reminds me of her.
Sure.
And I said, hey, doesn't she look like Deborah Messing? And everybody's like, not really.
I'll give it to
So
you.
that's who I
That
went
one goes
with.
to Jordan.
Thank you.
Let's do Cal. I have two options.
I have
I
two
do
as well.
too, but just start with one. Let's start with one, and let's do our B's after.
Here's my main one. Chris Pine.
I get that. Damn it.
Ooh.
That's great. That's way.
I always try to think like. I know we don't have to. I know that's not part of the rules. I always try to think of
Someone during the
at
time.
the time, like not
Era appropriate.
whatever, but that's actually great for.
Thank you.
outside
That's
that
really
box.
good. Fuck.
Mark.
I'll go. Mine's. I don't feel great about it, but I think Guy Ritchie could kill it.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie's good. I could see him being. He's good at evil.
Yeah. And being like rich. I mean, it's very much
Count of Monte Cristo.
Count of Monte
Yeah.
Cristo, but it's what,
Like
it's what
I
I
went
did.
to went to like 90s like type like. I did the
Val Kilmer.
the Iceman. Yeah, Val Kilmer.
Oh, Val
That would
Kilmer
work
would be great. Actually, I liked it a lot. Damn, mine
Hear
sucks.
me out
You
though,
guys are
Jordan.
better.
Here's a shout out ad for you, Damian Lewis. He's the redhead main guy from Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah, he'd be good. That'd be
And
really good.
Arrow-
I've
Wise,
been
that
wanting
works.
to rewatch that.
Band of
I wanna
Brothers
rewatch
holds
that
up so
recently.
much.
That's good.
Oh, I'll throw this out. It was chalk, but Matt Damon, I think he plays that type of character.
I could see
really
that
well.
too.
I
think
feel
it's
like
that
girls
type of
shocked to
character.
have Matt Damon.
Up next,
right.
we have our leads. Who'd you have as Rose? I like mine, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
I gotta look her up.
Oh,
She's in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She's in Cloverfield
Oh, the
Lane
main. Okay, yeah. That's fine. That's good.
and other things I can't remember off the top of my head.
okay. No, I love that. That's perfect.
Thank you.
I went chalk. I went who I always recast for. I went Rachel Weisz, and that could have worked in
I'm
1997.
down with that.
The Mummy's Rachel Weisz.
Enemy at the Gates,
Mm-hmm.
other things. Mark, who's your Rose?
Natalie Portman.
Oh,
Okay.
that's good.
She's a great
That's good.
actress. I'm fine with that.
I'm gonna toss out Meg's because she kind of came up. Saoirse Ronan.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Actually, that's pretty
I
good.
thought that was good. I didn't want to take it from her because I already came up with mine, but I thought it was worth mentioning.
For our Jacks, he's hot right now. It's Dune, Timothy Chalamet.
I
He's
knew
also,
somebody would say him.
He's also like a frail, kind of like a boyish.
But
heartthrob.
is he charming?
I
There
don't
was
know.
something more charming and gentlemanly about Leo,
Yeah.
though. I don't know. He wasn't as.
Yeah.
If we're using the word frail, we've been doing that. Like he's.
I guess
definitely
Cameron's
the
saying more of
frailest.
like kind of a pretty boy is kind of the route you went.
Yep. That's what I did. Jordan?
I kind of went a different route. I thought just It's going to sound dumb, but Heath Ledger, I think it'd be a great role for him then.
No, I could see that.
That's perfect, actually.
I think it'd be so good.
Jordan might
I don't
win.
think we would. Yeah, go ahead.
We talked about Tom Hanks. We talked about Matt Damon first. I'm doing Tom Hanks.
Ooh.
Young Tom Hanks.
That one's
It'd be funnier. It'd be good, but it wouldn't be as. It'd be Tom Hanks.
Think
Tom
more
Hanks.
like, I don't know, Forrest. Like not trying to be funny. Like not a lot of like Tom Hank-isms and like
more
big
like
or,
dramatic.
Yeah.
My head.
The two what ifs I found online were Johnny Depp and Christian Bale were up for the role.
Oh, those are the ones I thought in my head.
Oh, really?
I didn't even look at the what ifs.
Christian Bale was strongly considered, but James Cameron didn't want two Brits playing Americans in the leading roles. And
Hell yeah.
Johnny Depp just turned it down and said years later it was a big regret of his turning it down.
I think he's fine.
Yeah, he's done okay. Well, that was our recasting. Let us know what you think, but we're going to move it on to Mount Rushmore. Top 4.
Top 4.
Mount Rushmore. Top 4. Mount Rushmore. Top 4.
I just got to say quickly, because I don't know if I got this, and I'm the king of the world. Did we do that enough?
Nice. I don't think we did it once.
No, we didn't.
This week, in honor of Titanic being a two-tape VHS release, we're doing other movies that were a two-tape collection. We're going to go Jordan, Mark, me this week. Jordan, what's your favorite two-taper?
There's a lot of good ones out here, but I had to be true to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to support it when it's out there. I am going to go Dances with Wolves.
I had a pretty big feeling that was coming. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
God, it's a long one.
sure is.
If you want to talk about, Mark, another one where I don't even want to watch the second tape.
Yes.
In fact, I don't want to watch the second tape of any two-tape VHS. I just want the good
you got
times
me
to
wrong.
happen.
I like the first tape for reasons, but I like the second tape for the action.
I get it. It's all about to crumble. Because if you have two VHSs, it ain't going to end happy.
True.
Who's next?
No,
Mark, what is your favorite two-taper?
I think it's me. I'm going to go with The Great Escape.
I thought that might be yours. Yeah, you have been talking about it over the last few years recently. That's a good one.
You're a big component for it.
It was just a double VHS that we had back at my dad's house. That and The Sting, like some of those old movies I really enjoyed. Long ass movie too. I think longer than Titanic. So,
You know what surprises me? A lot of these older ones had built-in intermissions. I don't think the theatrical run of Titanic had an intermission. I think
Neither
people just
did.
watched it straight through.
I was like searching on Reddit. Some people remember like
Having
in the
it?
theater, like
I
having
I
an intermission,
don't.
going out,
I don't think we did.
and then people were like, "You're crazy." They
Ours
never
sure
did.
didn't.
So
Let us know.
it's hit or miss.
I'm going back and forth between what I know I've seen the most and something I like. Just because I was a big proponent
Be
of this
true to
movie.
yourself.
I'm going to go JFK, Back and to the Left. Kevin Costner, real long movie. Good, very good movie.
I like that movie. I don't care how historically inaccurate it is. It's a good
It's
movie.
a very good crime room drama.
I am embarrassed or happy to say that's 2 Kevin Costner movies in the Mount Rushmore.
He came up a lot today.
Right along that same line is if we're on honorable mention is Pearl Harbor.
I should have
For
said
historic
Pearl
events.
Harbor. Honestly, I just watched it like a few weeks ago with Chris too, roommate, band member. My honest answer is Pearl
So-
Harbor. Now I'm changing mine to Pearl Harbor.
Change it to Pearl Harbor because I think that's the one you've watched the most.
I totally forgot
I think
about
that's the one you've watched the most on VHS for
It
sure.
hurts something fierce that I forgot that. If you know it, you know it. With that, should we list some honorable
man.
mentions?
Titanic definitely would be on the Mount
Yeah,
Rushmore.
it'd be on mine as well.
It's like all time.
Titanic is maybe
The main one
is number
yeah.
one. Yeah, that's why we're doing
One
this.
I was thinking about saying was The Green Mile. That's also a very long movie.
You know, that surprised me. I didn't think that would be a 2.
There's a decent amount of Stephen
I
King
never-
two tapers.
Oh,
Well, granted, he
really?
does miniseries,
I
but
guess
his
it makes
movies are
sense.
long, man.
Also,
Go ahead.
what's fun about some of these is like that's on the cusp of it's almost it's either VHS or DVD. A lot of these were predating DVDs. That one's kind of on the
True,
cusp.
that's true. We were saying off air, it's a lot of gangster movies. We have Godfather, Scarface,
Sure.
Casino. Really, all of them are kind of on there. Actually,
I'm surprised Goodfellas isn't. I didn't see it on any of
didn't
these
see it either.
lists.
So a lot of mobster movies, and then a lot of like old musicals. So like The King and I, Seven Brides for Seven
The King
Brothers,
and I,
Fiddler,
Gone with the Wind,
The Sound of Music,
yeah.
Gone with the Wind. Yeah. So a lot of those old
And then
musicals
your
that-
epics like Lawrence of Arabia, I assume the Ten Commandments, and just all.
Mighty Joe
Oh
Young.
shit! Do you know what? I think Jaws was a 2-discer or 2-taper.
Was
I'm
it?
pretty sure it was. It's
That
like it's
might
a
be
long movie.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
I loved when the DVDs, even though
Flip
they probably
around.
didn't need to, like they
Flip it.
no, they still did like a disc 1, disc 2 on like Titanic for like.
Oh, did they
DVDs.
really?
You probably could. I think there's probably a box set out there you can buy of just like
funny.
disced first half, second half.
I want the split.
It's a good category. Shout out to Cameron. Actually, really liking Pearl Harbor though.
Oh yeah,
That's
man,
probably-
I'm so disappointed in myself.
I thought that's what you were gonna say.
Hartnett.
I'm hearting it. Let us know some of your favorite 2 tapers out there. There's more than we're thinking probably, but so we're probably missing some key ones on there.
Freedom.
Thanks for Braveheart. Yeah,
Braveheart,
that's
too.
totally on there. Thanks for listening.
Patriot,
Patriot. That was a one taper.
Glory for
Yeah,
sure.
that's probably
Glory.
Glory. Thanks for listening to our take on Titanic. If you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app, rate and review. If you want to hear more content from the Majestic Gem Network, check out I'm Not Crazy, Urban Hermit, and the Highwire Podcast. And until then, we'll check you on the next one, everybody. Make sure you do follow and like on social media, join the conversation, and we'll see you on the next one.